Good morning. Good morning. We are here again for another first Saturday. This is our 12th session, our 12th workshop session here on shifting through grief and beyond loss. And I am Courtney Lee Smith, your facilitator. I'm here to help you get from what could have been, should have been, to what will be. You're thriving. So we're talking about thrive through loss. We're talking about the growth. We're talking about the positive progress here. So if today is your first time jumping in for one of these sessions, of course, I tell you to go back and watch some of the previous episodes. The link is below here, so you can watch, 1 through 11, so you can be blessed. But the good thing, this is not like a TV series. If you didn't see what happened in the beginning, it's not like you're going to be lost and not know what's going on. So today it is still a new message just for you, the strategies that we're going to be implementing and working through today. So this is the time you can click share if you know somebody who's going through some loss, who needs some positive progress, who needs to just have a little love doing today so that they can actually find a way to thrive in the season that we're going through. So thank you for the love already starting off this morning. So I am so appreciative. And if you did not see what the message was today, it's time for an engine check. An engine check. Sometimes when we are going through something, we forget to check the source of the matter. So it is a hard issue. It is a hard issue when we're talking about the engine check. All right, so get this clear up front. I am an analogy person, and we always talk about ourselves as this wonderful vehicle, this creation that God has made. So we got to keep this vehicle right. We got to keep it aligned. We got to keep it fit. We got to keep it running to the end of the race that God has assigned us to. So this vehicle is what we're talking about, so we can carry on the assignment that God has given us. So this vehicle, through loss, through grief, through this process, there are some specific things that we have to do. So when I was prepping for this message, it reminded me one of these. It's kind of like one of my favorite scenes in the Fast and the Furious. And I want to say it's Fast and Furious number 7. I want to say it's Fast and Furious number 7. But it's when they're over in Puerto Rico. And in the beginning, and when they're in Puerto Rico, what happens is Dom's cousin comes up and he has an old beat up jalopy. But the thing is, what Dom said is, I can race anything because it is not about the vehicle. It's about the man that is driving the car. So we're talking about that motivation and that persistence and that determination and that skill behind the driver in the car. What's your drive? What's your motivation? What is pushing you on this journey to get beyond loss, to get beyond grief? That's a question. That's a question for you. What is your motivation? You, the driver. Are you skilled enough to win your race, no matter what it takes? But in this scene, when he had put his cousin's car in a race against what was supposed to be the fastest car already there on the island, but what ended up happening is Dom told them, strip that car of everything that car doesn't need. And when you realize that stripping, we need to strip ourselves of everything that we don't need, because in reality, what we need is a good heart. So a lot of times when we're going through loss, going through grief, our heart gets a little tainted, our heart gets a little heavy with all of these emotions, with all of these requirements, with all of these pressures of the world. So strip your vehicle so it can run smooth. Strip your vehicle so it can be fast. Strip your vehicle so it can run its race the fastest. So when I was thinking about that, that's what I envisioned. That simple little scene that was there in the Fast and the Furious. So I got my scriptures put up here, and I want to start us off in Ezekiel 36:26. So we're talking about this heart condition, and it says, "I will give you a new heart and a new spirit. I will put within you, and I will remove Oh, thank you, B. Thank you. That is true. I will give you a new heart and a new spirit. I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. And see, that's what we have to do. It's about in this season allowing God to work on these issues within us. He wants to give us a new heart. He wants to give us a new spirit. But the thing is, we get caught in this wallowing. So let's talk about an engine. When it's time to get a new engine, it's time to get a new engine, because a lot of times what has happened, the block has cracked on the engine. The engine is damaged beyond repair, and that is one of the most expensive parts on a car. It's not even just buying the engine, but for somebody to take one engine out and replace another engine. So that's work that God has to do on us. And a lot of times it's not about because we didn't maintain it good. It's just about the mileage that we have on our lives. We've been through a lot. It is hurting, things have broken, and it is time for a new heart. It's time for us to sit still and allow God to replace the engine. Hey, God might give you an upgrade on your engine. You might get a faster, a speedier, a muscle car engine. But the thing is, know when it is time to get a new heart. Know when it's time to get a new heart. Because when you get this new heart, like you say, you get an upgrade, you get a new spirit, you get a new boost. And we all need these things in life. So that Ezekiel 36:26 is there because it is to empower your life with a new engine. So if you think about the car, a lot of times we run way past the mileage of getting oil changes, past the mileage of checking our fluids. And that's because we've become so complacent of just moving and being busy in this world, but we don't really check on the conditions of our heart. And right here in this season, when you're going through, you need to speak your emotions. You need to deal with what you're going through. You need to deal with what's going through your heart. You don't need to dry up and become a stone, because it will break your engine. And when your engine breaks and it's the hard block, you cannot move any longer. There are parts of your cars that you can strip off and live and be a very minimalist. But the thing is, your heart has to be in good condition. So today, when we're talking about this heart, are you pumping pure fluids through that don't have a lot of sludge and grudge that are blocking up your heart from flowing freely? And that could be physically, mentally, or spiritually, what you're pumping through your body that is causing your engine to be stopped up. And that's why I say you might not need a new engine. You might just need an engine flushing, what we call a detox. A detox. You just might need a spiritual detox. You might need a mental detox. You might need a physical detox. You might need just to detox your space of the people that are around you. So take an examination of how are you stopped up and it is running and it is slowing you down and got your engine, got your heart so heavy. So it is that space. That's what we need to talk about. First, identify. Is it you need to just have a detox, have an engine flush, or is it time for you to have a engine replacement, time for a new heart, time for that new spirit, time for that new place for it to become in your life? And it's an assessment. The thing is, you got to sit back. That's why you put your car, you park it, you take it somewhere, and you get somebody to do a diagnosis on it, and you say, God, search me. You know, in his word, it says, search my heart so you can see me. A lot of times we mad about things, we upset about things, and we say it's one thing, but it's really something else that's deep within our heart. So ask yourself, why am I angry? Why do I have regrets? What is really the root of these emotions that I'm going through? So that means then you know what the real heart of the matter is. And that's what we're talking about. What is really the heart of the matter? What is actually pumping through you? What actually is released out of your lips? Because as the word says, as a heart flows, that is what will spring forth. So what is springing forth out of your lips is what you allow to pump through you, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, whether it's sludge. So that's why I'm saying, get time with God and get this diagnosis done. And when I say that, God will send you to a coach, a counselor, a therapist, so you can diagnose what the real issue is. We have a lot of times we speak, but there are people who are listening with a keen ear. And I do that with my clients because they tell me they start off with one definition of their feelings, but as they begin to speak their heart and the truth is released, I can understand what the real root of the matter is. And sometimes it began way before the loss of a loved one, way before the loss of a job. There were some issues that lie with them that just manifested, that's just exploded, that just magnified. Hurt will magnify some things, and hurt will cause us to lash out in some ways that we are not prepared for if we really don't know what's in our heart. So get your heart diagnosis, go sit, go talk with somebody and see what the real issues are, so you can make a determination if it is time for an engine replacement, or it is time for some tuning up, or is it time for a detox, a flushing of this engine. So where are you on the scale? How far have you gotten? But you're never too far. Never too far that you cannot get to your thriving place in life. Never give up and never become stuck where you are and say, this car, this vehicle is not worth anything. It's not time to do any repairs. It's just too costly. Let me tell you, you're priceless. You are a priceless vehicle. So everything that you invest in this vehicle, you will get return on the value. And when I was saying that, it made me think about how sometimes me and my husband, we go to the salvage yard and we restore cars and antique vehicles. So that restoration process first begins with the inside. It's not about this fancy paint job, chrome and everything. We know how to put the facade on and make the outside, but have you spent time dealing with your engine? So making sure you get the diagnosis to determine. Then after you get the diagnosis, begin to do the work and begin to do what it is that you need to do to make a decision. So the work, and that's why it's called a workshop. We got to put the work in to get it done. We got to make sure that we're making the effort to really understand that we do have an issue. We do need to go through some processes to adjust to the change. So a lot of times that it is what it is. We are adjusting to the change of this new life without this particular person or without these particular things to keep us on the norm that we have become used to. So once you get a diagnosis, you can determine what is in your heart. You can get this new heart that you need to get. So I'm telling everybody, pull into a shop. Get an assessment done. Make a determination about your heart condition. And as you navigate through these spaces in your life, you will understand what is really the root of you. So after we do that, you get your right spirit, you get your clean heart. And as I want to scroll to this other scripture. And I kind of mentioned it already, and it was Proverbs 4:23, and it says, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows the springs of life. And so what is flowing through your heart? It is the abundance of your heart that you speak through. It is the abundance of your heart that your actions flow through. So our actions are love. Our language is power, what we speak. So all of those things are checked in our engine. So it is time to get an engine assessment done. Go get plugged up. Go get connected. Go get this diagnosis done. So today, the main thing about this workshop is get some diagnosis done. See where you are heartbroken. Determine how deep your heart is broken and what needs to be done. After you get this diagnosis and you get your assessment back, begin to implement these strategies. Begin to implement them. Do the work. Go through the process. Push to a positive forward. We want positive forward and progress to happen. And as you move through positive, you will be thriving through your grief, because you will be evolving and growing into the new person that God has called you to be. So I see a few people online. If you have any questions, definitely jump in, place them here. But as always, I want to make sure that if you don't know, you are a fabulous vehicle. You were made from a magnificent creator. So you are what he has called you to be. There will be passengers that ride with you to different destinations, but that is not your final destiny. So as we ride, God will assign different people to us. And yes, it is a painful thing when we lose some of the people on the way and they have to go a different way. They have to maybe go with God, or they might have to find their own path. But the disconnection is because it is within God's will for our lives. But He left us here to continue on our journey, to make sure that we make it to the destiny that He has for us. So in that, I want you all to be blessed. I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to be stagnant. I want to keep you moving. But the thing is, I want you to keep you moving and positive progress, not just in busy work, not just in routine, not getting caught up and finally realizing that you have not went through the process of grieving. All of us need to go through grief. All of us need to take a daily process to recognize what it is that has changed, that has shifted, so that we can continue to grow and evolve each day. So I thank you all for letting me jump in here on the I Am Her international platform to begin to share here and broadcast out to other platforms. I thank you for everybody who has woken up in this hour or stayed up late in the hour, depending on where they're located in the state, because the I Am Her international platform, like I said, it's international, it's global, so people around the world looking. If you're looking live or replay, definitely make a comment here. But I Am Her. It is healed. We are healed, okay? And that is the place that we need to be. We are healed. We're equipped. And we're resilient. So that's applicable to men as well. Healed, equipped, and resilient. Let's not get caught up in the acronym of where we are. We're here to empower people who are going through the grief journey. Scrolling below, if you text, you can be a part of every conversation. Definitely go to my website. You will see that a new workshop is beginning. And if you want to be a part of that group in March, where it is starting, and it will be a small group of 25. Please join that group, because I will be pouring out 80 hours every week of love and support on everybody who is a part of that group. So I thank you for joining me here on this Saturday morning, this first Saturday of February, this Saturday to actually celebrate my birthday weekend. So I pray that this has encouraged you and actually giving you some steps to move forward on your grief journey. See you next first Saturday.